Good Tuesday evening, everyone. We're going to do a Tuesday tips for you guys. Got a pretty long one today and a lot of information, so I've got it all written down. Obviously not verbatim, but a lot of things so that we can go through it all. So I will try and talk to you guys. I want to, but I'll also be looking over here to read some notes to you guys. So tonight I wanted to talk about recognizing drug and alcohol abuse with your children. Talk a little bit about sex and a little bit of the ongoing conversation that you have with your children. That's the most important thing, is having the ongoing conversation. Without that, your children don't know anything about sex, drugs, alcohol, unless what they've been told at school by their friends, which is never a good thing. Always make it age appropriate, obviously. A 5-year-old child does not need all the details, doesn't need to be graphic, but a 5-year-old child should know that not to go with strangers, not to let anyone touch them, where their bathing suit goes, things of that nature. As a older child, 8, 10, that conversation again continues throughout their life, ramping it up to more appropriate levels, obviously. But by the time they get 10, 11, 12, it needs to be honest and full on, and really anything and everything. A lot of times parents don't want to include their own mistakes that they've made, thinking that it might encourage the children or have them look less in the eyes of their children. That's usually not true. It's more of having an honest conversation with your children. You may not want to give them all the details of the things that you did personally, but you definitely want to give them enough information to know that this is normal, this is what's going on, we're here to help, that sort of thing. So ongoing conversation. Ask about what's going on with your child in and out of school. Don't just ask do you have any homework, what was lunch, what'd you guys do? Nothing, no homework, had pizza. That's not the end of the conversation. Get some details. Who'd you talk with? What did you and Matt talk about today? I know Matt's one of your good friends. What's going on with him? I know you're talking to that girl, Susie. What's going on with Susie? What are you guys planning on doing Friday night? Those type of things, getting more details. Discussing with them how to avoid alcohol and drugs, why it's a bad idea, all the health effects, especially for children, because they're still developing mentally and physically. That's always, a good place to start. If you don't feel comfortable talking to your children, you can always, have the school counselor talk to them. You can always bring them here and we will talk to them. It's all about what is comfortable for you and your child, but they definitely need the information. One thing that I found out going through school as part of a case study that I did, and has always shocked me, is the youngest woman to ever give birth was Lina Medina, Linamedina. She was 5 years old when she gave birth in 1939. So several shocking things about that is she had to have been impregnated at the age of 4. And the other thing about that is people all the time think, oh, this is getting worse, children nowadays, this, that, and the other. No, this has been going on forever and a day. Maturity and adulthood way back in the past used to be much, much younger. It was not uncommon for, someone to get married at 13 years old, have children, start raising a family. that was not uncommon. And Lena got pregnant in 1938, gave birth in 1939. So we're talking about what, 70, almost 80 years ago at this point. So it's not a new thing. So that is a very sad situation, but it is fact. That happened. That's the youngest recorded birth, of the medical age when we, have been taking relatively good statistics. So it's not a new thing. It can happen. Definitely don't need to be talking to your 5-year-old about the details, but again, age appropriate. Some stats from SAMHSA from 2015. Almost 50% of high school seniors have abused a drug of some kind. Now, you have to listen to that, abused. Not used, but abused. So they're actively using, they're actively in addiction, they're abusing drugs, and that's 50% of all high school seniors. 68.1% of high school seniors don't view smoking marijuana as harmful. Of course it is. You're putting a substance into your body that's not supposed to be there. You're putting, if nothing else, harmful chemicals, smoke into your lungs. That's not, including the harm it's doing to a developing brain or anything else. I'm not going to talk about the legality or politics, but it is not supposed to be in your body. It is harmful. It is, if nothing else, chemicals and smoke that is not supposed to be in your body. Marijuana and alcohol, the most commonly abused drugs. By 8th grade, 15% of children have used marijuana. 7.6% of teenagers use prescription Adderall. 64% of teenagers say they've used prescription painkillers they got from a friend or family member. Nearly 44% of high school students know a classmate who sells drugs. So 64% of kids are getting drugs from friends or family. A lot of these are coming out of your medicine cabinets. Mom's got a prescription for, Xanax that she takes occasionally. Pills come up missing. Dad's got an old script from when he went to the dentist or an old knee surgery, those type of things. A lot of this stuff is coming from the house. 44% of high school students know a classmate who sells drugs. That's shocking. If you need drugs, then they're just right there, and everyone knows it. So some signs that your teenager or child might be using. This is a whole list I wrote down for you guys. So missing medications, just went over that. Look at their eyes when they come in. If they've been out all night, past curfew, that type of thing, look at their eyes. Really look into their eyes. Check their pupils. If they're really tiny, red, that's an indication of marijuana use. Really big, dilated, the black in your eyes, dilated eyes can be opiates, can be alcohol. But either way, if it's not normal, there's something going on. Also, with the eyelids, they might be drooping or sagging. That's an indication that they may be intoxicated in some way. Extreme loss of coordination, staggering, walking. Obviously, if they are under the influence of some type, then they're not going to be themselves. Insomnia or increased sleep, a change in sleep patterns. Are they unusually lazy? Are they, sleeping lots? Are they not sleeping at all? If you smell anything funny on them, foul body odor, lack of care, that type of thing, changes in behavior. Let's see, we got hyperactivity or excessive talkingness, shaking hands, cold sweaty palms, puffy or flushed face, runny nose, cough, nausea, vomiting, tremors of the hands, feet, or legs. If they get withdrawn, depressed, tired, they're uncooperative, hostile, changes with, family members that, is not normal. Those are all signs. Hanging out with new friends, grades dropping, attendance is dropping, changes in work behavior for older teens, lost interest in hobbies, sports, or activities. Household money has been disappearing. That's a really big sign. If you were sure you had $20 in your wallet and it's suddenly not there, then it went somewhere. So what is it being used for? Being antisocial or loner, excessive temper and irritability, nervousness, anxiousness. Those are all really good indicators that something has changed. What else do we have? Secretive and suspicious behavior. Teens by nature are going to be secretive. They're going to be, doing things that they shouldn't, things that they're embarrassed about, things they want to hide from their parents. But those are, again, really good indicators that something is going on. And it's not that if one thing is going on, that means they are on drugs. It's the whole chain of events. If you've got a whole bunch of these going on with your teen that I just listed, then you might want to, bring them in, for counseling, for testing, whatever, see what's going on. If it's just one thing, then, it may be that one thing. It may be that they have a medical condition going on. Some of the obvious stuff, eye drops, lighters, rolling papers, homemade bongs from soda cans or plastic bottles. It's a really good idea that both parents, if available, if you are in a two-parent home, talk to the child together, being on the same page about everything. Do not talk to your teen or berate them if they do come in under the influence. Talk in the morning when they're sober, when you've calmed down, about this being an issue and a problem, and what you guys can do to, help them through this. Some of the common reasons why is feeling a need, loneliness, abandonment, trauma, neglect, mental illness, wanting to be social, thinking it's the cool thing to do, thinking that it helps loosen them up, and family history. That's another big thing, is if addiction runs in your family, then that's something that you definitely need to look at, keep in check for your teen. Some excuses. We got some of these off the internet, and we also asked around here. Here's some common things that we've heard before. I was keeping it or holding it for a friend. Yeah, that's how it got there. Drink got spilled on me. Okay, well, what are you doing around alcoholic drinks anyway? I just took a sip. I didn't know it had alcohol in it. It's incense. Yeah, incense does not spell that way. It's only alcohol, or it's only marijuana. It's fine. It's just weed. No. All my friends are doing it. Yeah, time to get some new friends. I tried it once. I'll never do it again. Why did you try it? That's never a good thing. There's a reason behind that. I'm just tired. Oh, this is a funny one. This is actually true. It's cool to wear sunglasses even inside. Apparently a ZZ Top fan. But yeah. I drank, but I didn't drive. If you think I'm bad, you should see what my friends are doing. Yes. If that's the case, then again, we need to get you some new friends, some new hobbies, activities, better coping skills. It's not like when you were young, it's a different time and place. Yes, it's exactly how it is. I have kids, parents, adults, everyone all the time tell me, it's so different from when we grow up, and this and that. And no, it's not any different. These things were going on when you were a child, when your parents were children. It's never a good thing, but it's always been there for throughout history. If you go back, 50 years, then you knew somebody that got pregnant in high school. You knew somebody that was out there smoking weed, smoking dope. It's not that things have changed. It's just the media and publicity and has changed on it. And, a lot of attitudes have changed on, marijuana and legalization and, its effects. Again, I'm not going to, talk about the laws or anything else, but it's not good for you. Some of the medicinal uses of marijuana are truly legit. I believe that. But it's not the chemicals that get you high. It's the chemicals behind it that can help you with, the oils, if you have cancer or eating issues. It's not, just sitting around getting stoned. So that's some signs, symptoms, and excuses from your kids. Again, not a new thing. Same thing, different time, different age, but it's more about the ongoing conversation with your children. It's not a one-time, sex, drugs, alcohol talk, and then, never discuss it again. It's ongoing from, young children all the way up through their teens, so that hopefully as they get older, they can talk to you, they can come to you and tell you, that they were thinking about this, or, they're worried about a friend, or, they just need help in their lives, and they're not, anxious or uncomfortable coming to talk to you because you have had these conversations, because this has been an ongoing thing with you. And like I said, if not, then we're available here. Loomis Counseling, 256-686-9195. Good night.